Hello, and welcome to Atheist Viewpoint. I'm your host, Dennis Horvitz.
And I'm your other host, David Silverman.
Who is the Director of Communications.
National Director of Communications, National Spokesperson.
National Spokesperson of American Atheists. Today we're going to be discussing the transition that by now I'm sure most of you have heard about at American Atheists.
Big news.
But
lots of it.
Before we do that, I want to just express my own personal note of thanks to Ellen Johnson, who I guess it's been actually 5 years now, by the time you see this, that Ellen, I talked to Ellen and she asked me if I would be a guest, and then eventually asked me if I would be co-host, and because of her it has been my privilege to appear in your homes every week. So I just want to say that I want to send to Ellen my very best wishes and my deepest thanks. So don't start crying on me.
I was about to.
I hate when you do that.
I was about to.
Ridiculous.
It was so touching.
All right. But no, in all seriousness, though, Ellen, we have very big shoes to fill, and
well, I got to say this too. It was 10 years ago when I first started being an activist. When I went to my first American Atheist event, in fact, it was my first atheist event, period. Went to a Promise Keepers event down in Washington, D.C. Of course, you might remember the Promise Keepers as a religious cult that eventually went bankrupt. But a lot of people, after a lot of people gave them a lot of money. I went to protest their anti-gay and their anti-atheist point of view. I met American Atheists. I met Ellen Johnson. That was 1998. It might have been 97. It was right after Madeline and Robin and John disappeared. And nobody quite knew where they had gone. Nobody was sure that they had already been murdered and money stolen. And somebody had been chosen from the board to be the temporary president. That was Ellen Johnson. Ellen resurrected this organization. She brought it up. She organized the first Godless Americans political march on Washington. And that was a great success. Not only was it an American Atheist event, it was a pan-atheist event. All the other major atheist groups attended. It was a good event. It was a bridge-building event. And I salute Ellen from a personal level on what she has done for this organization over the past 13 years. Now, Ellen's term of presidency ended. What happened was that she and the board clashed miserably over the past couple of years, and it came to a head over the Bill Moore March. And, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to just do is I'm going to say that American Atheists has an acting president in Frank Zindler. Frank Zindler has been part of the organization for just as long as Ellen has, and he is a temporary president. Now, a lot of people have been asking us on the No God blog and via emails and via voicemails what Frank's plans are to move forward. So what I'd like to do, instead of paraphrasing what Frank's plans are, I'm going to actually read his own talking points. Because it needs to be understood that this is a time of transition for American atheists. We are moving from the past into the future. Ellen was always supposed to be a temporary president to replace Madeline until we find somebody permanent. And now we have another temporary president to replace Ellen, who was originally supposed to be temporary after Madeline and John. We will hopefully find a new president. We are looking for a new president right now. By the time you're seeing this, we probably have a very short list. But in the meantime, let me tell you a little bit about Frank's points.
By the way, I'm free on Thursdays.
Yeah?
Sure. Just kidding.
You're willing to quit your job and do something really, really hard for very little money?
That's always been my dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the presidency of American Atheists is by no means a cushy job. We at American Atheists strongly believe that the atheists should be doing this out of love, which is why I, for the past 10 years, have been completely volunteer. To the best of my knowledge, this gentleman to the right is completely volunteer. In fact, almost everybody, including the current president, Frank Zindler, is also a volunteer president. We do not believe in paying our people, six figures in order to do what really should be a volunteer position. So the presidency for American Atheists makes a very, very small salary. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge filling Ellen's huge shoes. Here's
Of course, let me just interject.
Yeah.
With an increase in membership, possibly we'd be in a position to...
An increase in membership. Do you know what that would also mean?
What would that mean?
An increase in donations. Nah. Now you're just acting crazy. All right. This again from Frank Zindler. I am just an interim president and can't really promise to chart any long-range course for the organization. However, as one of the people who will be selecting my successor, I will naturally try to argue in favor of candidates that share my personal values of principles, policies, and priorities and strategies. In other words, what I personally want to do probably isn't that important. See, that's the thing. President Zindler is holding the fort down while we fill things up. I want my successor to be able to take control of an organization that is financially sound, has a clear ordering of priorities, and a way of reordering them easily when circumstances change, and as efficient a system as operation as possible. And that's what we have been trying to do. With the departure of Ellen, we have inherited an organizational challenge, for lack of a better word. Things aren't exactly where they should be. Things aren't exactly well organized. And we're fixing it. And we are fixing it. We are succeeding. And although we always do need more, we are financially stable at this point. My successor should not have to worry about the day-to-day operations of American Atheist Center in Cranford, New Jersey, where this is being taped. For that reason, I will argue that the Office of Director of Operations, a position temporarily being filled by Conrad Garinger, also a board member, will be made a permanent part of the corporate structure. Of course, the new president will have to be responsible for how the offices are run, but it should only require periodic scrutiny, not hour-by-hour attention. That would free up a great amount of time for the new president of American Atheists to be more frequently and more effective, to act more frequently and more effectively in the national and international media. In other words, we need two people. We need somebody to run the center, and we need somebody to run the organization. One person can't do both. That's a two-people job. Right now, it is two people. Right now, Frank Zindler is running the organization. Conrad Garinger is running the center. And doing a great job. By the time you see this, the center will be dramatically improved. I would like to just segue now into a winter solstice party that's being held here in New Jersey at the Crowne Plaza, where we will be operating a grand opening of the center again, a re-grand opening of the center where you can come and you can see all the changes that are being made. You can see this set, which is absolutely beautiful to behold. But you can also see the Sasala, the Charles E. Stevens American Atheist Library and Archives in its full glory, and our new press room. We're going to be able to hold press conferences.
We'll be updating you on that as it unfolds.
Yeah, it's going to rock. It's going to rock. I want American Atheist Press to publish more new titles and to make better use of the writers who are members of our organization. This is why I will be seeking a new editor for American Atheist Magazine, so I will be able to devote more time to book publishing when I relinquish presidential office. I have been told to write a book so many times, and I really would like to.
I've been told to read one.
Really?
Yeah.
If I write one, will you read one?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm lying, folks. I'm totally lying to my kids.
I'll give you a few talking points that you can say about my book.
Okay.
And it'll sound like you read it.
Okay.
I loved it.
Okay.
You know, I especially loved it when you said this. Why? That's the way to do it.
Okay.
I want to expand our educational outreach. Yes, I am the National Youth and Family Director. Of course, we still have 2 scholarships for atheist activism. Those will be continuing. But we need to publish leaflets, booklets, and ephemera that will give student groups not only in colleges but also in high schools the help from fighting off assaults of muscular religionists who pretty much control education in the movement.